Hey, welcome. I see a few people's got on. Can you guys hear me? Can you see me? You hear that funky music? All right. So I see we have a few people on. I'm actually going to get started. Can someone just let me know that they can see me, hear me? All systems go. Okay, gotcha. All right. All right, so I'm going to get started. Thank you. So I'm going to, my name is Eva, and welcome to this call, this hangout. And if you're here, you got invited by one of our fabulous team members, successful home business entrepreneur, who's serious about success and serious about sharing that knowledge of really how to get over the rat race, how to do life a little bit differently, how to maneuver past that maze that society has boxed us into. So this is really kind of like a pattern interrupt in your everyday norm to really help you see something different and grab hold of what we have here inside of our community. which is called the Team Automated Income Group. And tonight we're going to be talking about blogging and how to blog for profit, how to successfully create a blog for profit and for your business. So I'm going to move right into our PowerPoint presentation here, unless anybody, okay, I think we're all good. Let me share my screen so we can get started. All right. All right, I just want to make sure you guys can see my screen. You just get an okay from me. Let me get an okay that you guys can see my screen before I move forward. Okay, great. You guys can see my screen. Awesome. So like I mentioned, we're going to be talking about blogging for profits. Really going to make sure that we lay out some great foundational information for you so you can understand the concept of blogging, what it all entails, and how you can actually get started in blogging for your own personal business today, as soon as today. See, we're not messing around here. We're going to give you the information. It's going to be up to you wholeheartedly for you to run with it. So I'm going to just kind of put out the framework for you for tonight. We're going to talk about some marketing fundamentals. We're going to talk about blogging and defining what blogging is all about, how to get started in blogging, ways that you can monetize your blog, and a simple mindset shift so you can understand the success mechanisms necessary for you to succeed in blogging. So if you don't already have your pen, paper handy, this is the time to get it, because this is not going to be a lot of fluff and hype. We're really going to get down to a lot of training to help you actually monetize your blog. Whether you're already blogging on your own personal blog and really looking for tips and strategies on how to do that, or if you have a business, either direct sales business, brick and mortar, a service-based business, and you're really looking to leverage that business with a blog. Okay, so just to tell you about me, myself, I'm your host tonight. My name is Eva Balat. I'm a busy wife, mother, businesswoman. I have master's degrees in business administration. And for the most part of my adult career, I've been in social services working with geriatrics. And I typically worked in nursing homes. I've worked as case manager, going to individual people's homes to make sure that they have services, make sure that they have food to eat and someone to take care of them. So that's something that I've wholeheartedly enjoyed, something that I've gone to school for. And back in 2009, later part of 2009, I had my first child. And so naturally, when you are, faced with a new life in your hand, you're trying to find out, like, what are some other things that I can do to kind of secure her future, to make sure that, financially that we're secure. So like most people do, I started online. I went to the internet, started put in, how do I make money online? How do I make money from home? And that's how I got my start. I got my start with direct sales, with network marketing. But guess what? It wasn't all peaches. It wasn't all roses. I struggled mightily at the beginning for years. And it wasn't until I got partnered up with this marketing system that preached on in every week after week to get started with a blog. Now, I resisted that because I didn't understand what is the big deal about a blog. I mean, it seems like, why would anybody want to listen to me? Like, why do I have to go through all the hassle of putting my content out there? And it took a lot of poking and prodding, but I actually got started, and then I actually started seeing results. When I listened to what other people were insisting on, where they were already getting results, when I, put that resistance down and actually follow directions, that's when I actually started seeing results. I started seeing people get attracted to my business. I started getting calls and inquiries about my business, generating leads, adding reps to my business, as well as making sales in my business. And I really have contributed blogging as a foundational piece to my home-based business. It's something that I actively do right now, today in my business. And, no matter what strategy I'm doing, I've always incorporated blogging with it. So I know that if you're here, you're serious about adding this component to your business as well, and really understanding what are all the moving parts with blogging and how can you actually monetize it. There's a lot of pomp and circumstance in the marketplace, and we're going to simplify this concept for you. But first, before I do that, I want to make sure you understand the fundamentals. See, we're in the online marketing space, and we got to go back to basics and make sure you understand marketing 101, online marketing 101. And what is the activity that you need to do in order to generate sales into your business? And there's 4 components. You got to create content. You have to capture leads. And how you do that is through a capture page. And you also have to communicate with those leads. And how you do that is through an autoresponder. And then once you have an autoresponder, over time, you're going to be able to close sales. See, if you do steps 1, 2, and 3 right, the sales typically happen on their own because the people have built up relationship, have built up rapport, have raised their hand and say, you know what, I trust you, I like you, I know you, I want to partner up with you. So for the purposes of this training, we're actually going to just focus on the first component, which is creating content. And we're going to do that by a blog, of course. So we're going to break down, what is a blog all about? So what is a blog? I know it's a very convoluted, it's a web blog. There's a lot of definitions, but I've come up with my own definition. And I simply call it a casual, informative conversation with your audience. It's literally just talking to them like they're on your couch and saying, hey, this is some information that I found out. I know that you would find it valuable too. You might be struggling with the same issue. Here is how I handled it. Or actually, I read this book and this is what my takeaways were, right? It's just like you're sitting on the couch with your best friend and chatting over some of the key things that are happening in your life. So with blog, it's very personal. It's not like a static website where, that information is formal, where that information is not going to change, where a conversation is going to have context to it. It's going to have, different dimensions and stories and analogies and, different mechanisms to it to give it depth. So with a blog, it's so important that you keep it kind of light, not very, what's the word? Not very mechanical, right? Because this is supposed to be an interaction. The whole point of a blog is so you can say, hey, this is what I have for you. Hey, what did you think about the information? So when they comment and engage with you in the comment section, you know what that feedback is. That's where the conversation actually starts happening. You write something on the blog, and then you ask them for their feedback or what their insights were of what you wrote. So we're going to talk about why you need a blog. And blogs are favored by the search engines. There's Google, there's Bing, there's Yahoo, but blogs, because they have new information on them on an ongoing basis, that's the #1 favored medium of content that the search engines like, right? Because the search engine's job is to find the best content available. And typically the best content is fresh content. And so, of course, why you need a blog is to promote your products, to brand yourself, to communicate with your audience, to reach search engine optimization, to be recognized as an expert, to reach new customers. But also, this is really a place for you to show yourself off, right? It's a place where you can say, hey, this is what's going on in my life. Here's my personality. I don't have to put up a front. Those who are going to be attracted to me, or attracted to my story, or attracted to the things that I like, we can run together. right? It's not a blog is not somewhere where you're going to attract everybody and their mother. It's a place where you have a specific audience that you like to engage with, and you can show them who you are in full transparency, in all honesty, and be genuine. And then you'll get a level of intense, loyal rapport because those individuals have connected with you. They open your emails, they read your blog posts, they know who you are because there's a connection, because you've segmented yourself to a select individual community, and you've presented yourself wholeheartedly to them, and they'll do the same to you. So another reason for blogging is it's a trustworthy term. I mean, if you put blogging into the search, if you put an email together, and if you say, hey, go to my website versus go to my blog, the click-through rate to go to my blog is much higher than going to my website. So it's a trustworthy term. There's less resistance. People don't feel like they're being sold with the word blog. And a blog is actually the catalyst for your triangle of trust with your audience. See, this is the triangle of trust is something that Frank Kern, which is a very well-known internet marketer, he put this together. And essentially, it's really linking up your blog, putting a video on your blog, and then sending that to your email. That's what builds a trust, right? Where they can see that congruency between your blog, your video, and your email. All of those are congruent, and everybody can see that, hey, this person's a real person. I got to read their content. I got to visually see them, and then they touch me in a personal place, which is my email inbox. If you didn't know, email inbox is so personal to people. That's why people get offended when you spam them, and they go crazy on you and curse you out, because it's their personal space. So when you get an invitation to their personal space, but they saw your blog post and they saw you on video, that builds a triangle of trust, and they're more connected to you. So does blogging really work? I wonder if it really, really works. I mean, some of the top Fortune 500 companies are blogging. So I wonder if it works. You know, from 2008 to 2013, we've seen a steadily increase of more and more Fortune 500 companies blogging, right? And this is so powerful because these are like the movers and shakers of our economy. These are the people who are doing big, big things in the industry, and they're taking the time to blog, to know the importance of connecting with their employees, connecting with their clients, connecting with their customers, making sure that they have that human interaction, and people can understand, hey, where are you coming from? I know a lot of presidents and CEOs who were blogging probably back in mid to early 2000s got resistance from like board of directors for blogging, thought it was a complete waste of time. But you know, come to show now, you know, come to today, it's, you know, it's commonplace practice for the CEO or the executive, you know, marketing executive or financial officer, chief financial officer, to have their own blog as it relates to the company. And it really, really helps that company to look approachable and seem very, you know, in the know, and can communicate with their ideal clients, customers, and of course their employees. So the other thing to make sure that you understand that blogging works is think about your favorite fill in the blank: coach, thought leader, actor, actress. Have you visited their blog? Have you gone and searched and tried to figure out what is it that they're doing today? Well, blogs are one of the biggest ways that some of your favorite people, artists and musicians, are keeping connected with their own target audience. And this is a clear sign that this is something that you need to be doing as a person in business to get connected with your audience, to start building your tribe, to start building your community. So how do you get started with that? So there's 3 key steps to lock down before you do anything. So this is so important. I probably should have bolded this whole slide, because before you take any steps into blogging, you got to get this slide clear first. You've got to identify who your audience is. Who is your market? Who are the people that you want to serve? And what you can, an easy way to identify that is to take a look at your competition, right? Who's doing something similar to what you want to do? Take about 3 to 5 of those people who are doing something similar, and you just need to take some time to analyze what it is that they do, and find out where their gaps are. And is it something that you can fill? Can you fill that void of, if you see about 3 of the people that you're following, the audience is talking, the audience wants the leader to have forums in your, let's say if you have a mommy blog and there's not a forum attached for, multiple birth mommies, then that's something that you can inject yourself with and say, hey, I'm a mommy blog, I talk about multiple births, and we have a forum to support you, right? You got it, but it's going to take it's going to take time for you to research, take the time to analyze and research what is actually in the marketplace, come back to fill out where are the holes that you see, and then figure out, okay, what does my audience look like? So what does my mommy blogger look like? For an example, is she, she has multiple births? Is she married? What is her income? You got to be very descriptive on the type of individual that is participating in that audience. So I hope I drove that home, that you got to be crystal clear on your audience. The next thing you got to do is identify your message. What is the purpose of the blog? Right, so blogs have different connection points. A lot of blogs are just pure communities, right? It's information just for a community of like-minded people who, there's like blogs for left-handers. There's blog for, like individual, like single child home person. There's so many different blogs, but what is the purpose? Like, do you want that person to have a place of community? Do you want them to have support? Do you want them to have a resource center on your blog? Do you want them to be able to use your blog as a curation site? Do you want to go out and research and record, and you curate everything based on that industry? And you got to think about the core messaging. Why is that person coming back each and every day? What is it about the content? But what is it about your blog that's going to keep them coming back? So you got to be very clear about that messaging and what is it that you want. So I'm just going to be, I'm just going to think out of the box here. I'm going to assume you want to be the best at what you're doing. So if you're writing out a blog, you probably want to be the best blog in your marketplace. So whether it is a mommy blog or a direct sales blog, or you have a blog for your beauty business or coffee business, you want to be the best blog in that space. So you've got to take the time to find out what is it that you want people to get out of coming to your blog. So the other thing is you got to identify the medium. So of course the bigger medium is blogging, of course, but what is it that you want to associate with blogging? Do you want to associate videos with your blog? Do you want to associate audios? Do you want to associate PDFs and PowerPoint slides? You can always do a combination of, but how does your audience like to consume information? If it is a blog, but they're very visually centric, you might have to add a social media platform that's visual to the blog. If they're more auditory centric, then you might have to start, blogging and doing podcasting. So you got to consider the medium that they're interested in. And then there's 5 other steps to setting up the actual blog. So first, you got to choose your preferred blogging platform. And there's a multitude of different platforms to choose from. You got to choose whether you want to self-host, pay the provider to host it for you, or get a free blog. You got to decide whether you want to self-host your domain name or create a custom domain name. And then you got to figure out the designing components of your blog. What are the themes? What are the colors that's going to align with your brand? So this is where you got to figure out, do you want to do it yourself or do you want things to be done for you? See, if you do it yourself, you got to get your domain name, you got to get your hosting account, you got to get your blogging theme, you got to find a blogging platform, usually WordPress, and you got to get a designer to help you customize that blog so it can be matched to your branding. And this can lead to a lot of overwhelm and a lot of frustration and overall stress because, you know, this is a lot of programmers' language you're dealing with. It's not usually user-friendly, and it's really techie intensive with putting it and making sure that all these components work. And trust me, if one thing doesn't work, everything is thrown off. It's literally like one little tweak doesn't work, everything can be thrown off. And that can really delay your success because you're, you know, messing around with trying to put it together. Or you can do the done for you method, where it's a plug and play into an existing system. You get a domain name, and then all you have to do is start blogging. It's that simple. And this leads to a better user experience. You have extra time on your hands. You have a peace of mind. You're not wondering, well, did I set it up right? All those moving parts are already taken care of for you. And so all you're doing is focusing on knocking out some quality, amazing, powerful content for your audience like you should. So let's talk about one of the biggest questions that we get as far as blogging, and what in the world do I blog about? Now, you can blog about anything and everything as long as it's related to your audience. See, a lot of people in the online marketing space will tell you, go ahead and blog about anything. You can blog about your grill that you just purchased. You can blog about the Canon HD camera that you just purchased. You can blog about the new dress that you purchased online. And you can blog about, your housing experience with your realtor. Okay, can you see how confusing that would be for your audience? It needs to be very congruent, very relevant to the audience, because unless you're creating a blog post where it's solely about you and that up and down, that up and down flow in your life is to be expected. But if you're specifically targeting an audience for business, they want your messaging to be on point. They want you to be on message every single time you come up to bat with your blog post. So they I'm sure they love to hear what your background and your insights and thoughts on everyday life. But if it's not specifically geared towards them, they're going to be confused. They're not going to come back to your site, and people's attentions are very, very short. And the more that we can engage them into our blog, the more that we can enlist them into our community and join them into our tribe and have them as a long-term viewer for our blog. So it's really important that as you build out your content, that it is valuable content. So I'm going to give you my definition of value, because I know when I got started, the word value annoyed the heck out of me, because I just didn't understand, how do I know what's valuable? Like, is there any checklist? Is there any barometer to understand what value is? And it took me a long time to understand truly what value is. So this is my definition. I don't know if this is going to be useful to you, but value is anything that's useful, any information that's useful that triggers an insight for someone or allows them to implement what you told them. Okay, so I'm going to repeat that. Value is useful information that triggers insight for someone or allows them to implement the information that you told them. Okay, that's how you're going to know if that person got value from it, because there's not going to be, you know, an Eva at your door and say, hey, yeah, that's valuable. No, that's not valuable. This is just a small little checklist for yourself. As you read your blog post, hey, did that person get an aha moment? You know, did that help them shift their mindset a little bit? Or are you showing them an over-the-shoulder tutorial about how to set up their Facebook fan page? Right? You just got to understand that valuable information is just useful information, whether it's a light bulb that goes off on their heads or allows them to, you know, follow a tutorial that you're doing for them. Okay? And then as you do your blog posts, you got to be very clear as far as your positioning, right? So a lot of times people get stuck on, well, I'm not an expert, so how can I position myself as an expert? And I know this was one of my biggest hang-ups. I'm not doing crazy numbers. I'm not having those big checks on stage. So how can I position myself as an expert? So an expert is an individual that is one step ahead of the person they're trying to share the information with. That's pretty much what it is. So as an expert, when you go out and you research, when you do research on, you know, 10 ways to convert your social media blog post, right? If you go out and you do the research, you've checked what the leaders are doing, you kind of synthesize that information, you now become an expert because you did the legwork for the person who's coming behind you, for your audience. So you've done something for them that saved them time. You're automatically positioning yourself as a leader and as an expert. Kind of like you know, like a, what's the word? I forget it, but you know, it's kind of like you're running a race and you have someone, you know, you have the next leg coming, trying to give you the baton, and you're that expert. You're the one up front, and you're saying, hey, here's the baton. Here's that piece of information that you were looking for. I went ahead and, you know, compiled all this information for you, either in an ebook, either in a blog post, either in a course. But this is how you get expert positioning. So you don't have to kind of have this wimpy or lower standard of yourself, because more than anything in the marketplace, people are looking for leaders. I can't tell you how much people are looking for leaders. They're looking for someone to give them direction. And if you've gone ahead and you've done the research and you've already put in the hours to find out what the solution is for yourself, sharing that automatically puts you in an expert position. So next, what do I blog about? Here are some of the key lists that I had for you, and see some of the common. I took this from thedigitalmarketer.com, and you know, some of the most famous is how-to posts. Like I said, tutorials, making lists, doing a case study. See, if you're in direct sales, you can easily do a lot of case studies. Anybody who's getting results in your company, you take their testimonial and you break it down. How do they get XYZ results? That's a case study that you can do. That person doesn't necessarily have to be on your team. That person doesn't necessarily have to be on your sideline, upline. If your company leader or whomever is getting a level of results, you break that down. Well, they said they did this, and then they did that, and then they did this. And you're kind of synthesizing that information. There goes that expert status again with the case, with your blog posts. So another important is for frequently asked questions. Now, I know I did this in the past, because if you're building a direct sales business, an affiliate marketing business, or even if you have a traditional business, as well as a service-based business, you should have some frequently asked questions about your business. You should put what are the five frequently asked questions that you get over and over again, whether it's on your call, whether you get inbox on Facebook, whether you get email messages. You know, it could be simple as, hey, I'm still not clear on what a blog is. Hey, I'm still not clear. So not only is it something that you know that you've gotten over and over again, your marketing or your messaging has not clearly defined that. So go ahead and take an opportunity through your blog post to answer that question. That way you can knock it out of the park, and whenever you do get that question again down the line, you can always point them back to that resource. Another great thing is sometimes people don't know what they should ask, and they're called SAQ questions. What should they ask? And a lot of times, because people have employee mindsets, they're not thinking like an entrepreneur. They're not thinking of, you know, the different mindset that they need to have in order to succeed online. So what are some of the 5 should ask questions that people getting started in business, or getting a service from you, or being a patron of your business, what kind of questions should they ask, right? So let's say if you have a traditional, you know, brick and mortar business, and you ship things, you know, what is the time frame from, if you ship things to California, what is the time frame from here to California? What is the expected time frame? Let's say that person, it's not a common question, but you want to make sure that a person knows they should be asking that, because you're going to get a call from them, or they're going to, you know, blowing up UPS or whatever, because they don't know where their package is. They didn't ask what the tracking time frame is. So those are some of the should ask questions, and you should definitely, if you have a traditional business, network marketing business, you know, sprinkle those types of posts into your marketing, so people can understand, like, another level of your leadership and expertise status is you're forward thinking, and you're really showing those people how you're above some of the how you're above some of the other issues and concerns that people have. So the next thing I'm going to do is focus on the 4 ways to monetize your blog. And the first way is affiliate marketing. Now, affiliate marketing, most of us are familiar with it, but people really don't know how it works. So how it works is simply you get connected with a company, right? So let's just use Amazon as an example. You sign up for their affiliate program. They give you a link. You place that link within your blog post. So if you do a book review on your favorite book, you say, you know, a call to action would be get your copy of the book here, and that click here is going to be hyperlinked with the Amazon affiliate link. And once they click on that link, Amazon's going to recognize that source came from you. Once they purchase it, they're going to confirm that transaction and get you the commission. And it's as simple as that. And that's pretty much the basics of it. So as you create content, if you're, you know, having a mommy blog and you're talking about strollers, and you're doing comparing and contrasting 3 different strollers, you're going to have affiliate links for all 3 strollers, comparing and contrasting. So as different moms go on there, they can look, and, you know, if more people like number 1 versus 2 and 3, you're getting paid from all different levels. So, you know, here's some of the common, which is Amazon, ClickBank, JVZoo, Bluehost, HostGator. Those are the most common, and there's tons of affiliate marketing. Some of your favorite retail stores are affiliates. I have affiliate programs such as Walmart and Target. And, you know, people still want to know, does affiliate marketing work? Well, a very famous podcaster online, his name is John D. Loomis, in October, he had an income report of making over $18,000 in affiliate income. And as you can see, you know, number 1 is Bluehost. He made over $4,000 in Bluehost. If you go down a little bit more, he made a little bit from, where is it? He made a little bit from Amazon, right? Made over $1,000 close to the bottom on Amazon. So affiliate marketing is alive and well, and it's simply, you know, sharing people, hey, this is what here's the book I reviewed, or here's the content that I found for you. If you would like to get your hands on this material, get your hands on this product, get your hands on this book, here is the link. It is really that simple. If you have an audience and you grow that audience, more and more people will click that link and go through that process of purchasing that product, and you will get a commission. So the next thing is advertisement placement. 4 ways to monetize your blog, and you can do it with advertised placement. So this is how display ads look. Banners on top of the blog, and banners on top, on the side, on the right hand side of the blog. So there's banner networks, Google AdSense, buysell-ads.com, and display ad networks, as far as where you can find different banners that you can place on your site. Now these are kind of like quiet, non-hypey, intrusive into that user experience, right? You know, sometimes people don't even notice banners, but if you have viewers that are coming over and over to your blog, and they're engaging with you more and more, they're going to be poking around and clicking around, and they'll be clicking on your banners. So is this profitable? Is ad placement profitable? Well, then Partridge from Daily Positive, he had an income report about his ads, you know, his ad placements, and for April 2014, he did $7,000 with Google AdSense, and another $300, over $300 with Beacon ads, right? So it's very profitable. It's just a matter of positioning the ads so they're not annoying, they're not intrusive to the user experience. You know, it's something that can settle nicely into your theme, your colors, your branding. So I hope that makes sense for you. The third thing is you can monetize your blog with a product store. So kind of similar to this image right here, where you'll have CDs, books, audios, worksheets, you have DVDs, ebooks, home study course, digital course, where you can position that in your store where people can frequent over and over again as they poke around on your blog. They can visit your store and see all the different things that you offer. Some of these things can, of course, be your own personal products that you created, and then some of them could be affiliate products, right? Things that you recommend, things that you use and you highly recommend to your audience. So how this works, one of the biggest influencers online as far as blogging goes is Ray Higdon. He's a multiple 7-figure earner. He has a very profitable online store where he has like a plethora of different direct sales, network marketing, training products, audios for individuals who are serious about their business. So he's one person who does this very, very well, has a multiple 7-figure business, and runs a very profitable store. Lastly, the ways to monetize your blog, you can do it with services. So you can coach, you can have VIP days, you can have programs, you can have done for you consulting services as well. And this is really something that you're offering of yourself. Typically it's time intensive, so these are things that are personal, like you're personally helping someone make sense of their business, get something done, brainstorm, mastermind, whatever the case might be. And how this looks like in the real world is a very top leader and coach in the online marketing space. Her name is Lisa Sasevich, multiple 7-figure earner, and she's a very profitable business coach. Now she does a multitude of different things, but you know, I think she's called the sales conversion queen, where, you know, she really focuses on individuals, coaches, speakers, authors who want to focus on converting their sales. So she has a big, you know, coaching where she, you know, has these different levels: platinum, elite, diamond, where you can work with her directly or attend her live events, and that's a part of her services as well. So I wanted you to see how this looks and how, you know, you can do this. You know, it's something that a lot of people over and over for a multitude of different years been able to do through different backgrounds, different ethnicities, different walks of life. And they've been able to position themselves as leaders, as experts, as go-to people in their space, and been able to profit and monetize from their knowledge. So as we move forward, I want to make sure that you understand some of the key things, the key mindset that you're going to need as you start blogging for profit. So you got to think about yourself to figure out if you're going to be a spectator or are you going to be a creator. See, this goes back to that employee entrepreneurial mindset. See, if you're not used to thinking like an entrepreneur, it's gonna take some time for you to get those juices flowing, to understand what questions and the right mindset process you got to think of to run your business effectively. See, a lot of spectators, all they do is just consume information. They consume blogs and videos and audios and forums and reviews, and all they do is just sit on the sidelines. They're just observers. They're actually observers and cheerleaders in the stand. They'll tell you way to go. But when you step into blogging for profit, you become a creator. And when you're a creator, you're the one who's taking bold action and saying, hey, this is me, this is my content, this is what I'm passionate about, this is my knowledge, my know-how, and I'm here to share that boldly with my audience, right? So spectators are so used to just observing what the creators do. They're observing what the masses do, and they're just snacking on the free information. But as a creator, if you're willing to step into that bold role of being a creator, you observe the masses and you do the complete opposite, right? Because as you can see, for spectators make up about 73% of the people who are engaging in social activities online, where creators are only making up 24%. This is by research by Forrester Research. So that means there's plenty of room at the top. There's room for you in your blog in this area, okay? So the choice is completely up to you. And this is the reason why I wanted to introduce you to our team 90-day bootcamp. So we put a bootcamp together and really put together a framework that's going to show you how to structure your blogging. There's about 6 ways. And through our trainings and our content, we're going to show you these 6 core ways of how to structure your blogging. So how to take action each day, how to generate traffic, how to generate leads, what is closing in sales, how does that look like in your business, how to enroll new members and keep them engaged in the community. What does that look like? And also, as your team gets bigger, how do you manage and organize and leverage your team so it can run successfully? So this is Blogging Bootcamp is really going to be something structural for you if you understand the power of blogging and how easy it is to get yourself into profit utilizing the 4 ways that I mentioned previously. So this is only for a select few of people. And what we're going to do is we're going to take you by the hand. We're going to show you step by step how to set up your blog properly. We're going to show you how to turn a profit time and time over again with your blog, right? We're going to give you out-of-the-box ideas and strategies to make sure that you stand out in your blog marketplace. Even if you are rep number 500,622 in your organization, then we want to make sure that you're not just a number, that you're accounted for, that you're making a presence. We're going to give you some very strategic ways to look at your business and figure out how you can stand apart from a sea of other reps that are doing the exact same thing that you're doing. Other thing we're going to do is show you how to deliver amazing content. We're going to get you connected with a community of mentors and help you understand key fundamentals of internet marketing, affiliate marketing, and how to maximize those marketing skills, as well as different marketing strategies to attract key people to your blog. And of course, we're going to give you some insider secrets to list building, marketing strategies, and higher level business techniques to skyrocket your business. So I want to share with you a testimonial from our leader here. Her name is Nicole Cooper. Most of you are familiar with her, but if you're not, she is the leader of our organization here, the Team Automated Income Group, and she attributes blogging to her as one of the key fundamentals to her success. So her testimony is, learning how to blog online has turned my dreams into reality, where I've been able to share and inspire people all over the world through both video and writing. Not only has it created my dream life, but it's also provided the financial freedom to do the things that I love doing. So this is an amazing testimonial, because so many of us are stuck in the rat race. We're not sure what we should do. And when you can understand that you can leverage a platform like blogging, and it can actually get you to the financial level that you're looking for based on your own individual efforts, because we can't guarantee any of your results. Your individual results will vary, but to understand that you have the potential to have that process take place for you in your life, in your family, it's priceless. It's a no-brainer. The next testimony I want to share with you guys is with Jaleesa Cheatham. And her testimony is, as a result of working with Nicole and our team organization, I now have the skill set that I use to generate an income and never work for anyone but myself here on out. I've been able to establish and brand myself as a branding and marketing consultant, with majority of my clients coming from social media sites such as Instagram and Facebook. I've been able to work with clients all over the world and made over $2,500 a month just in marketing consulting, while working less than 25 hours a week. So this is amazing. For the individuals who are part-time marketers, how would you like to be able to leverage the skill sets that you're learning as you're building your blog, and be able to, market those skill sets and have a nice side part-time income, working only 25 hours a week? Right? This $2,500 is a life-changing money for people. And this is the reason why you got to put in the effort, put in the energy, put in what's necessary, because these are not unique results. Okay, your results will absolutely vary. So it's really important that you understand, are you dedicated to getting results in your business and doing what's necessary to blog? Well, Raymond Jordan was. His testimony is that he was stuck in his business and wasn't able to get any results, but until recently, with the training inside of our elite marketing education products, he's been able to apply and achieve an Alexa traffic ranking for his blog as high as 1.6 million globally, just by doing what Nicole and the Team Automated Income Group has taught us, and posting his results on social media. So he's been able to attract other leaders who are interested about what his SEO strategies are, and paying him to get his SEO services, right? So this was not something that could have happened back in March of last year, 2013. But because of the training and the knowledge that he gained through our organization, through our team, he was able to get some crazy results. I don't know if you know about Alexa traffic. I mean, pretty much it's saying 1.6 million. He has a blog that's 1.6 million, where your blog, when you first start out with a blog, your blog could be like 16 million. So through his search traffic optimization, he's been able to get his blog noticed, so much so that other leaders are asking, hey, what is your strategy? I'm willing to pay you for that. Again, what if you could take some of the strategies and the skill sets that you're learning as a result of blogging, and also leverage that so you can make other additional income? Okay, that is called leverage money. Okay, so the results are not typical. Of course, yours will vary. If you're willing to do exactly what Ray does, you'll get similar results, but we cannot guarantee any results. So, this is a freedom-based franchise business model that we want to share with you. As a result of this boot camp, you're going to have access to some elite people. But what would you pay for that? What would it cost you to work with 6- and 7-figure income earners, to have access to daily motivational calls, to associate with forward-thinking leaders, to access elite marketing education? And the biggest of all is to help you avoid all the unnecessary bumps, bruises, heartaches in your entrepreneurial journey. What if somebody came before you and said, hey, don't go down this road. There's a ditch, and then you're going to tumble, and then you're going to fall. Yeah, I might even break your arm. Avoid that detour altogether. What if you had someone to help you do that? Well, you can get started with us today and get your own blogging platform for less than a cheap lunch date. Yes, for only $25. For only $25, you can get started with your own blog so you can start blogging for profit. When you purchase of your $25 blog, you get instant access to our interactive Facebook community, and then you'll also have elite access to our training that we're having for the blogging bootcamp. We have a training that's taking place tomorrow night, and those who get started with us this evening will have access to that training as well as subsequent weeks before. So you will be plugged in. You'll know exactly what you should be doing as far as how to get your business, get your blog and your business off the ground, and how to leverage it so you can start earning profits with it. Okay, so we can't guarantee anything. We know that this is a business that's completely dealt on, sheer motivation, willpower, determination, and individuals being coachable to follow directions. So if you're willing to follow direction and follow and take our blueprint and really utilize it and implement what we're telling you, you will get level of results for yourself, and you're the only one who can actually guarantee. And that's what you want. You want to be the only one to guarantee your results. You want to put your success in your hands. So I'm going to share a few more testimonials with you. This is with Simone Harvey. And, her testimony is prior to being a part of the Team Automated Income Group and the Dream Team community, I struggled in getting leads online. It wasn't until I applied what it was I was being taught in our products and private coaching that I started to see results in how I market my business online. This community has taught me how to market to a specific group of people, become more confident about my message, and allow me to see an increase in the number of people that opt into my list of about 59%. So if you don't know anything about opt-in rates, that is a crazy rate, and it's that sheer dedication to her business has gotten Simone that rate. It's an extraordinary result. Your result absolutely will vary, but can you imagine getting a half that rate? That would be amazing. But Simone was coachable, right? She followed the private coaching. She followed what the product said, and she was able to get results in her business. Will you be the same? Will you be able to follow our lead and participate in our blogging challenge so you could get the results that you're looking for? I want to share a few more testimonials. This is Angela Carter, and her testimony was prior to joining Empower Network. I was a struggling network marketer who only recruited 5 people in 2 years. Can anybody relate to that? Struggling to recruit individuals? Well, since plugging into Empower trainings and community, I've been able to bring in 97 people in under 2 years, right? So where 2 years she was only bring in 5, now she's able to bring in about 97 in under 2 years, and be able to hit the leaderboard twice in the company without chasing family, without chasing friends. So if you absolutely want to learn the skills necessary and finally succeed, then she highly recommends Empower Network Products and Community. So again, results not typical. Everything is determined on your sheer level of effort, energy. Where are you going to listen and take advice from people, mentors who are actually getting the results that you want, and following a customized blueprint that's going to help you in your business. And lastly, I wanted to share this testimonial from Chris Harold about our community, and where he said, being surrounded by a diverse, unique, talented group here has allowed me to grow in areas of my business as well as my life that I couldn't have being a solopreneur. It took me a while to realize that I could only do so much and go so far by myself. And aligning my vision and dreams with this like-minded group has been the best decision I've made since getting married. Also, the friendships created is something that will last many, many years. So this is powerful because we're more than just business partners. We're a close-knit community. We are, here to support, encourage, and be there for you on the long haul. This is just not, a transaction. This is this is allowing you into our family and saying, we're going to take you by the hand. We're going to say, this is what your dreams and goals is, and we want to support you and push you to that finish line towards that goal. And that's what Chris is saying here, where, if you're so accustomed to doing things by yourself, you're going to get a family here. You're going to get a community here that's going to push you and love on you and motivate you to go after your dreams each and every day. Okay. Results are not typical. I have to say this, everybody who gave a testimonial, you can always go back to our income disclosure, where you can check out our average earnings at empowernetwork.com/income to really see all that information. But what it boils down to is you. And I want to give you a slight recap. This is all about you and where you want to go. How do you want to finish 2014? How do you want to start 2015? So you don't start 2015 on January 1. You start 2015 right now. Okay? So I want to give you a recap of what's going on. So for what you're going to get for your $25, you're going to get a blogging system, a 90-day hands-on mentoring, access to our inner circle community, our Facebook group. You're going to get weekly tasks and action plans, and you're also going to get opportunity for higher level trainings, masterminds, higher level lead generation strategies, as well as insider access to some of our top tools and strategies that elite marketers are utilizing in the marketplace. Okay, all of that, all of this information, all of this content and high-level training, and you can get it for $25. All you have to do is click the link below now, or actually get back to the person who invited you to this call. They're actually going to walk you through how to get started, and we will see you on the inside. We're excited for those who are getting started with us today. Welcome to the Team Automated Income Group family. We look forward to working with you. Look forward to seeing you and supporting you in your vision and goals. So join our team today. If anybody has any question, I'm going to answer them and show my face. Let me know if that was helpful to anyone. Any feedback? Okay. Can anybody hear? Can anybody see the chat? I don't see anybody. I don't see any responses, or unless I'm looking at somewhere different. Is this helping anybody? Can someone put it in the chat? Was this helpful? Does anybody have any questions? If not, we might be a wrap. Okay, I'm gonna wait for one more minute to see if there's any responses. Click the link below, get started with us today. We love to share with you how you can start blogging for profit and essentially get started on what it is that your vision and goals are. Okay. Let me stop screen sharing and see. Okay. All right, thank you, Simone. I appreciate you. Thank you. All right, I'm not seeing any questions, so I'm going to assume that all the questions were answered. Am I that good? I'm just going to say that. And if you have any questions, you can always get back to the person who got you on this call, got you the link to this presentation, and I'm sure they'll answer your questions for you. Okay, so with that, I guess I'm going to end the call, the Hangout. Thank you so much for allowing us to serve you and informing you of what's possible when you blog for profit. So thank you. Have a good night. Bye.